Welcome back, guys. Quick tutorial today on In the Shadow. We're going to be going over how to set up iSCSI on ESXI. So let's get into it. First, we're going to go ahead and type in our IP at the top of our host. Once that comes up, it's going to let us know there's an SSL cert. Let's go ahead and confirm that security issue. Next, we're going to need to log into the host. We're going to do that by using root and the password we set up during installation. Refer back to my ESXI installation videos if you need to know how to install ESXI. Next, we're going to go here to storage. We're going to click storage. If you notice, we have no new data stores. We're going to click on adapters up at the top, click configure iSCSI, enable it. Once it's enabled, it'll take a little bit of time to load. Let it load. We're going to leave everything default, and the only thing we're actually going to end up doing here is adding a dynamic target, and this is actually going to point back to our FreeNAS server. Go ahead and, if you need to review my FreeNAS server, actually how to set up, not only how to set up FreeNAS servers, but how to set up iSCSI also. So here I'm going to enter in the IP address for the FreeNAS server, which is .52. Once that's done, we're going to leave the port default. I'm going to click Save Configuration. Takes a few moments for it to save. Alright, we're going to go ahead and let that save. Once it's done, we're done here. We're going to go over to the left and click Networking. Now here you can see it brings us up to the port groups. I'm going to click port groups just to show you guys exactly what you're going to see and what it actually looks like. But we're not going to worry about it too much here because actually when we go over later, it'll allow us to add one. So we're going to go ahead and add a standard virtual switch. Here we're going to name it iSCSI. Now the next thing we need to do after this is set our MTU to 9,000. Anytime you're doing iSCSI, we want our MTU to be at 9,000, or aka jumbo frames. Select our uplink, which is VMNIC1, which is down right now. I'll take care of that in a bit. It's not actually plugged in. But once we get this all done, I'll go ahead and get that plugged in. I'm going to leave everything else default. Click Add. Now we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to double check everything up here, and we're going to head on over to VM kernel NICs. We're going to add a new VM kernel NIC, and if you notice, this is actually going to create a new port group for us too. So we're going to name this iSCSI. We're going to tell it to use the new virtual switch we set up, and on here also we're going to change the MTU to 9,000. Just as I was saying before, we want to make sure this is on jumbo frames. Now down here below, we actually need to assign an IP address that's going to be on the same network schema as FreeNAS. So for here, I'm going to be using the same last octet that the host is using, which is .58. Once that's done, I'm going to hit create, and that's going to go ahead and actually create that VM kernel. From there, we can actually go over to storage now, click rescan. If you notice, we see our iSCSI software adapter in here now. I like to click scan a few times, rescan, refresh, just to make sure, you know, it picks everything up and it's able to find it. And if you notice down here, we have our iSCSI software adapter, as I was saying earlier. And if we click on configure, you'll see the FreeNAS server. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this. Now what we want to do is go over and create new data store. I'm going to head over to data stores, click new data store. We're going to create a new VMS. As you see, there it is. It finds our FreeNAS. I'm going to call it data store 01. Click next. It's going to let us pick how big we want it to be and what we want to use. I'm going to leave everything default, tell it to use it all, create the data store. Give it just a few moments for it to process that task. And now if we come over to data store, you'll see, boom, there's our 1.66 terabytes that we've got that's working off of our FreeNAS server, which is our R410. Our host is now accessing the R410 and using it as a place to store its data store. So now that that's set up, guys, you have a host accessing iSCSI from a FreeNAS server. That's it for this tutorial. I hope it was helpful. I hope that it, got you where you needed to go with getting your system set up and using one system as a storage device and another as a host. I do have plenty more videos that I'm going to be doing. Some of the videos are going to be going over how to set up Windows 10 and Windows Server with actually over iSCSI. If there's any other videos you guys like to see, drop a comment down below. Let me know. Hit me up on Twitter or on Reddit. Let me know what you guys want to see. I'm always happy to try to do as many videos as I can. But as always, I'll see you in the lab.